Hold on. I gotta find a good one.
Yo, who's the interviewer, bro?
Yo. I had to cut all of this. It's your boy Toasted. We back with Top Tier Media Live. Man, who we outside with right now?
Yo, this is Northside.
I'm Aesthetic.
Featherweight. And we go by a group named ULTIMA Sounds.
Okay, man. So where are y'all from right now, man? Where are y'all originating at?
I'm originally from North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
For me, I originally came from Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Yeah, same here. Fort Smith, born and raised, moved up here about 10 years ago. Love it here.
Okay, word. So y'all are all pretty local and stuff. Y'all been here for a while. So starting from left to right, have you ever ghosted anybody on a project before? Have y'all or have y'all pretty much stayed together with your group?
Yeah, I mean, I done go to some people who you interact with people that are like kind of unserious. They just see what you got going and they want what you have going. So they say like, oh, I'm going to do this. But you can kind of pick up on that energy. So most of the stuff I stay with is within the group here.
I'd say we've even ghosted each other in some projects.
that's fair.
we
That's
start
fair.
a bunch and then, hey man, what happened to that project? Oh man, I don't know.
That's fair.
So being true to the nature though, what do you think is the most easiest thing and what do you think is the hardest thing being a DJ right now?
For me personally, I think the easiest thing is actually like the like the more technical aspects. Like that stuff is like practicing your room by yourself. I think the hardest thing about it now is more of like the marketing yourself and like getting out and creating content for people like myself. Like that's not naturally something I do. So I think the technical aspects of it is the easiest personally.
Yeah, I just started DJing. I actually started producing first in the group. So for DJing, for me, it's all a little new, a little bit of freshness, and but I'm enjoying it. I love it. I haven't really found anything extremely hard or easy about it so far.
What about you, man? Because I know you've done a couple shows and stuff too outside of just bar scene, being in music festivals. What do you think about that?
For sure, the easiest thing for me is actually just playing the shows in itself. I just have so much experience with it, and I always have so much fun with it as well. So it's always a blast anytime I get to go up there and play. Hardest bit, maybe even just maybe finding the motivation or just like getting as much production work that I want to get done.
So do you guys produce some of your own tracks? How does this go? Like, do you play other people's music and make money? How does this work?
I think it's a healthy mix. The two of us specifically actually produce together a lot. We work on a lot of collabs and stuff like that, but I've also got collabs with other artists from like Dallas and stuff like that. But yeah, we do a mix of producing our own tracks and playing out other people's.
Okay.
Yeah. Same for me as well. Healthy mix of both, but as of late, I'm trying to get more into production so I can actually have more of my own set lists being more originally produced stuff.
Yeah, I same here. I mean, I love playing my own originals, and that's what I started doing with this group first. When we all got together, like I had been producing for a while. Same with Zach. He was our main DJ, and so we were all just kind of bringing this all together. And then, starting with production, I found some success through SoundCloud and got some good numbers, and I just continued that. And then now I've got some mentors with the DJing part, so that's pretty fun.
Nice. He said promo. Gotta send it through. Yeah.
And follow this motherfucker right here. Toasted. The Dub Toasted. Follow.
Man, what kind of software did you guys start out with? Obviously, the stuff that you have now versus what you guys started with is completely different. Tell the viewers a little bit about what it takes to upgrade and how to get there.
For me, I started heavily getting more into production just this past year, and FL Studios was the one I've been using the most. In a sense, got pretty well in the mastery of it all, but just recently I actually just bought and installed Ableton, so now I'm in the process of like just relearning the DAW altogether and starting to produce on that way now.
Okay, word.
Yeah, for me, I was an FL Studio fan from the beginning. You know, they have this free version. It's actually kind of funny. As long as you don't close out of FL Studio, you can continue working on that project, and it'll have every plugin for free to use. That the FL's full suite.
You cracked it?
No, no, no. It's
No, no,
from
no.
their it's from their website. But here's the kicker: if you close out of FL Studio on something you were working on, you can never open that project file ever again unless you pay for it. And so I left the first project I ever did. I left my computer on and running for like 2 weeks straight, and I actually finished a song with the full free version because I never shut my computer off. My room was hot as hell, dude. And that song ended up being the reason why I continued producing, because like in the first week it was already hitting like 6K plays and a few hundred likes. I was like,
That's pretty
keep it.
tight.
I'll go ahead and invest $100 now.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, that's generally how it goes. I feel like I've seen a lot of people be like, I don't want to pay for this. All right, now I gotta pay for this. So that's a cool thing to know. There's a lot of other people that decide to just crack it instead, or just have the unofficial version. So it's cool that you actually like kind of did it the right way.
In some way.
Yeah, no, you didn't. It's not like you took anything. Man, what do you see for the future of the electronic scene, man? Like, I know there's a lot of new genres, a lot of new different sounds coming out. What do you think is the future is going to be like? 5 to 10 years from now, maybe.
I would think maybe a resurgence, maybe in some trap, especially since like ISO XO and Knock 2 are like really blowing up right now in that trap space. RL Grimes also making a comeback, and there's a few other trap artists that are also killing it in the scene. Avello is also another one that comes to mind. Hopefully maybe Brostep will also come back.
Pro step.
Hey, yo.
Skrillex is making a resurgence. People like Edison Cole and Alley Cat are also blowing up, and they're doing really well in that sort of space as well.
Yeah, I hope color bass, like future rhythm stuff like that, also like can get pushed to the forefront. I feel like I actually talk to them about this often. I think like rhythm and just like dubstep kinda is starting to all get to a spot where it sounds the same. A lot of places, I'm not saying everybody, but like the big headlines, major festivals.
It's
I feel
getting to
like,
start sound like the same rap, like rap. It's like rap, yeah.
You know what I mean? Types. And so
Yeah.
it's like there are these other artists that are out here doing different things. Like Chime, Ace Aura is like probably my favorite artist ever. Virtual Ride, some of those guys that add like melodic, colorful things into their songs and sets. I feel like that also I hope gets pushed to the forefront. But it's all just basically about what the fans like, I guess.
I can agree with that, man. I think personally, with my 2 cents on that one, yes, I would agree that it definitely sounds a lot similar than what it did whenever I first started listening to EDM music. Now everybody kind of sounds like Subtronics now. Yeah. Everybody kind of sounds like Easy Baked now, because I feel like that's what sells.
Right.
But when in reality, EDM is so vast that you can have your own genre of what you do and it still be in a subcategory that's already thriving.
Yeah.
Being different is what's cool.
Yep.
So I feel like that's what makes, specifically, like when I look at EDM artists across the world, I look at Wakan artists on like the higher tier versus a lot of other artists that are doing stuff in other places because of making nothing into something, but still being something somewhere else and bringing that here. So to me, that's what makes it kind of important. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything what you guys are saying. There's a lot of similarities in today's headliners and certain facets, and like you said, it's what sells. It's the right formula that most people think, right? And so we just hope that doesn't take away everybody's creativity and
Individuality.
Yeah, I think that's why, especially in our group and with the way we produce and DJ and what we bring to the table, definitely stands out from, especially this scene here in Fayetteville. I really feel like we're bringing a different sound to this place for sure.
Can you give me the step-by-step process on what it takes to create one of your tracks? Give us the run. I'm talking about, we want to know from start to finish what it takes for the group to make a track.
That's tough. I feel like the creative processes individually are like very different. We actually do have a song that we all created together. I think for me personally, I always start with BPM. Like, where do I like how fast do I want the song to be? What tempo do I want it to go? I'm like super big into trap. I also don't know why I have like an unrealistic fascination with like flutes. So I'm always looking for like either a flute sample or a flute, MIDI that I can use to kind of like start it, and then I build around that. But I like to personally like I like to build out my songs from the beginning to the drop, to the bridge, to the next drop, to the end. But I know some people like to like put their drops together first and then kind of like fit the rest of their song around that. So I don't know as far as
Yeah.
y'all go how that.
Well, I've definitely done both, for sure, 100%. I really do enjoy working on an intro, no doubt. I mean, one of my tracks, Shadows, like the whole track is basically an intro. I have like one drop in there, and before, I mean, it's a short song.
Drop hard though.
Well, that's kind of that was what I was going for, just kind of the surprise factor. But from start to finish, I agree. Choosing a BPM that you want to create in, and then finding the inspiration can be an acapella that you like or a song that you get some inspo from. Like I've got this acapella pack that you just throw that in the DAW and you start working around that. You can really start creating some really really neat things from it for sure.
And for me, right now, I'm like just in my edit era, so I'm just making a whole bunch of DJ edits in my DAW. But the inspo comes to me whenever I'm making these, mostly whenever I'm like building out my DJ sets. So there'll be a time where throughout my set, as I'm building it out, after doing so many build up and drops, I may want to bring in my next song to be an intro. That intro, I might think like maybe it'd be a little too empty, or maybe I want to throw in a recognizable vocal into it. So then I'll just cut out of my DJ software, pull up FL Studios, and then I'll just start building out that edit from there. Manipulating the vocal however I want, resampling the actual instrumental, and then from there, piecing that together into my set, and then moving forward from there.
Well, when school's back in town.
There's all different walks of life during school year, bro.
Every time.
Y'all cool with me doing a segment real quick with South 23rd Street Entertainment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
Absolutely,
man, let's
man.
get it. So I'm gonna name a DJ, and you're gonna tell me one word to describe this DJ. Are you ready?
Oh,
We're gonna
like
go
this.
from left to right.
I like this.
All right. Subtronics.
Talent.
You? Yeah, you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
loud as hell.
Chaotic.
Well, yeah, one word.
It's a compound word.
Tape B.
Groovy.
You might have to cut a little bit of this.
Come on, bro. One word.
Bouncy.
Vibey.
Daily bread.
I don't know. No daily bread.
That's not one word.
I know.
But we'll let it
Sorry.
pass.
Unknown.
Trap.
Something I put in a toaster.
Oh no, we're failing.
Taboo.
Hilarious.
Passionate.
Goofy.
That's our segment brought to you by South 23rd Street Entertainment.
Something I put in a toaster is crazy.
I don't listen to Daily Bread. I'm familiar with them, but I've yet to like listen.
I'll tell you that much.
First Daily Bread said
You don't. You never.
Bread does
You
go in a
should have let
toaster.
her answer.
What do you think about Daily Bread?
I love Daily Bread. I just experienced them at last Wakan, and it was the best set of Wakan.
I've seen Daily Bread a couple times. I've seen him at Bonnaroo. I've seen him at other places. I think that the boys would like Daily Bread a lot. I think so too.
seen him too, man.
Oh, you've seen Daily Bread?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I
okay.
got to see him at Wakan,
Yeah,
man.
we go to Wakan, what, like every other
I go to Wakan every year. Yeah.
Where did you get the connections to be able to play at Dance Fest and on the Yellow Brick Road tour? The whole thing.
Yeah. So every year they have this Yellow Brick Road tour that goes through multiple stops throughout the U.S. And then within each stop, it's pretty much like a Battle of the Bands DJ contest that they're having at each one of these venue spots. The first step is you would just submit a mix into Dance Festopia's DJ submission application thing. And then from there, whoever their team is will listen to those artists, and then from there they'll actually pick out which ones that they would want to make it to pretty much the next stage, and that is to pretty much play out live at these tour spots. Every year, or the 3 years that I've done it, it's been different. The first year it was a judge vote and a actual crowd vote, and then the past 2 years it's just been strictly crowd vote. So thankfully these past couple of years I had amassed more of a following where people were to come out to see me play, and they were able to just vote for me. And then even just other people that were just in the attendance, just checking out all the other acts that were on there. They just happened to enjoy my set and wanted to see me go to the next level, which is playing at Dance Festopia.
It's the back-to-back set with local legend Trippy Hippie. Like, dude, how did y'all figure that out, dude?
That is still in the process. We're actually supposed to be getting together here in the next couple of weeks, so I promise we're going to build out something nice and beautiful and heavy, though. So I'm pretty pumped about it.
I believe in you. You don't look like you half-ass shit, so I think that's going to be something tight, bro. Yeah. Being a new up-and-comer in the group, learning how to do certain things, do you feel like you're the whipping post sometimes when it comes to things, or do you feel like you're actually getting in your groove right now?
Yeah, it takes a lot to learn and to get up on stage, man. I mean, I never wanted really to be the person on stage until I had one of my first shows with the group, and that show went so well, and I felt so good being up there and DJing in front of a crowd, and having my music that I even produced years prior well received, and so that kind of kick-started everything for me. And then really in reality with our group, I mean, these are really mentors for me as well as I am for them when it comes to production, and so really we're all just trying to build each other up and make each other as successful as we all can together, even individually or as a group when it comes to Ultima Sounds.
What do you think it'll take for the future of your group to be able to surpass other people that are DJing? Because in our community, there's at least 100 of you guys. But what makes you guys so different?
I think for me personally, the idea is never like passing people over. I think specifically in Northwest Arkansas, we are trying to provide something different. This is like a very wub heavy, house heavy, drum and bass heavy, like very chill, low key music scene. And we are the kind of guys who enjoy going out to see dubstep shows, trap shows, bro step shows, and like that's what we're passionate about. So that's just something we try to provide here. It's not necessarily surpassing, just giving a different option. I know there's other bass heads in Northwest Arkansas that, see shows come up on George's or, here at Weston Watson, and they're like, man, I really wish, I could headbang to something. And that's what we look to provide for them, is just a space for bass heads and NWA, and like I said, get into our production and things like that to hopefully take it further than NWA at some point.
So how do you approach collaborating with vocalists or even just artists in general? What's your initial approach to get someone to do a project with you?
The first step that's important is you want to make sure that the artists you're collaborating with, you guys share like the same vision, same goals in mind before you even begin to start talking about collaborating. If not, you can start to butt heads with people or that person in terms of like the direction you want to take, specific sound or the song in. And then I think it's also really important as well for, let's say if I was doing the collaboration, I want to make sure that I'm enjoying and loving the music that person's putting out, and they should feel the same way about my sort of stuff as well.
I personally love this question because I've done collabs with people that I don't know very well, and that I like echo his sentiments. But then there's like, so this dude, me and Aesthetic have also just like been around each other, and it's just such a natural chemistry that we've just sat around drinking beers and like we cranked out a song called Faded.
That's how it's supposed to work, in my opinion.
It's like very natural, like almost he'll start, a part of the project, and based off what he's playing, I hear something in my head, and I'm like, okay, let me take this here. And that song I think we put together in like, it was like 3 days, but it was like 2 total hours of like actually in the DAW making it. And it's like both of our highest like played song ever. I think it's like if not at, it's like close to 20,000 plays on SoundCloud.
What's it like having a song that actually has plays? Because that seems to be a very common denominator issue for artists in general, is that promotion skills whack, getting songs or even posting songs and their continuance to do that whack. And there seems to be a lot of people that want to do this but don't do this. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Once that first song you ever release gets the numbers, and especially if you're kind of low key still and you're still building out your brand, like, even a smaller amount of numbers could still be a big amount of numbers to you. And eventually it still kind of feels like an addiction. You're like, man, I'm glad that the thing I created or that I was artistically being free with, people are also reciprocating and that they like it. And, that's just a whole new level of wanting to keep you going, keep you motivated. And, to his point about our track that we had a collab on, like, there was no real promotion or marketing around it. It was posted to SoundCloud late at night, probably around midnight, 1 a.m. And him and I both look at each other. We're like, how much do you think? And we're like, at least 15K first week. And no shit, first week it had about like 13,000 plays. So
It's always
really
a blessing,
about that.
especially it's a good feeling to know. It's always nice to have.
And for me, it's dope to have the plays, but when you see like the people who comment on it, I think that's like the real driving force, because it's like it changes it from like a number to something that means something more than just like, oh, how many hearts are there, how many play signs are there. Like, shout out to Parker Beal. He commented on that
You
that
still
song,
remember that, man.
and he told us to remember him whenever we get big. I still think about that comment, Parker Beal. I have not forgot about you.
You're getting backstage passes, man. next Ultima show.
Gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, man. Last question. Who's your favorite DJ right now, and why? Anybody you want to shout out, and then on.
My favorite DJ is Featherweight. I think he's the best DJ in the state. Him, the homie, the big bro, the legend, Trippy Hippie, that's actually the person who taught me how to DJ. When we all did our show at George's, I gave a shout out there. But yeah, so it'll be them two. Anybody from Ultima Sounds, I think everybody is killing it. We constantly getting better every day. And if that's not an acceptable choice, then I'd probably say Virtual Ride.
Yeah, I feel the same way. My answer was going to be the same with the local homies and just what we built here together. And then outside of that, on a larger scale, we had already brought him up once, but I'm a big Wakan head. I go there every year, and
Shout out Wakan. Shout out Martin.
Shout out,
Yeah.
Shout out to him, man. And from there, man, I had a crazy experience seeing 100 Drums one night. She just went.
She's great.
She went
She's great.
crazy, and I'd never heard of her before Wakan. And then late night, 1 a.m. kind of after set, just walking through the woods, and they say follow the music, and I got locked in, man. She was
100 Drums and Cannabis are probably my two favorite
Yes.
female DJs.
Yeah, shout out to females, bro.
Shout out to females.
Shout out to ladies.
Shout out to ladies.
And then my favorites is going to be my crew here, Northside Aesthetic. And then we also have Go Lowski and Budacris, which is down in Dallas. And they're
I fuck
also
with
a
some
part of our
Gololowski,
Ultimate crew
man,
as well.
or however you say his damn name.
Shout
I
out
fuck
to
with old
him.
boy. He's got great energy.
Absolutely. They're all a bunch of killers, so they give me a bunch of inspiration, too, to just keep pushing myself to be the best that I can be.
Give you a big artist too, so we don't look. like,
I'm glad you guys didn't say any mainstream artists. That's so tight.
I didn't know.
Big inspo for me, probably even in my sets too, is probably Edison Cole. I think he's an absolute killer right now, and like what he's doing out there in the scene for dubstep, but also incorporating a lot of beautiful elements into his tracks, which is what I also try to do in my sets and in my own production as well.
Shout out Top Tier Media.
I just wanna know what you look like without a weight on your soul. I know somewhere we could get away if you wanna find another place. Love disappear and never leave.